Imagine a young graduate working in a modern IT hub like Whitefield. They earn 6 lakhs a year, a respectable starting salary that makes their parents proud. Yet they feel a deep underlying paralysis about their financial future. The feeling hits when they browse real estate listings and realize a basic one-bedroom apartment starts at 75 lakhs. At their current salary, even if they saved every single rupee and spent nothing on food or rent, it would take 12 years just to reach that starting price. And by then, inflation will have pushed the goalpost even further away. Faced with an impossible housing market, they pivot to the only gratification they can afford. They drop 400 rupees on a midnight food delivery order they don't actually need, purely to reclaim a sense of control over their own happiness. This individual choice reflects a massive macroeconomic trend. Collectively, young Indians are spending 67,000 crore rupees annually on food delivery, while allocating nearly 30% of their total income strictly to travel and experiences. This psychological surrender is known as financial nihilism. It is the realization that since the traditional milestones of adulthood are mathematically out of reach, the most logical move is to spend on the present moment rather than save for a future that feels rigged. To see why this despair is mathematically justified, we have to compare the economic entry points of 2012 against the reality of today. This chart shows how entry-level IT salaries have stagnated. In 2012, a graduate started at 3.5 lakhs. 12 years later, that starting pay has only moved to about 4.5 lakhs. During that same window, the cost of a starter home in suburbs like Navi Mumbai or Thane exploded from 30 lakhs to 90 lakhs. Housing inflation has fundamentally outpaced wage growth by a factor of 3. If a modern graduate tries to bridge this gap with a loan, the math becomes even more grim. A standard 65 lakh home loan carries an EMI of roughly 55,000 rupees, an amount that consumes the entire monthly take-home pay of a typical young professional. For the modern middle-class earner, saving up for a home is no longer a viable financial strategy. It is a mathematical dead end. Technology has accelerated this shift by removing the physical friction of spending. We moved from the era of ATM lines and physical cash to a world of instant UPI scans, where small, invisible transactions for 50 or 60 rupees quickly stack into a mountain of monthly debt. This ease of spending is paired with the pressure of hyper-comparison. Instagram has replaced the neighbor's successful son with a global feed of 20-year-old millionaires and influencers, making a standard middle-class life feel like an objective failure. Consequently, young investors are diverging into extremes. They might open a demat account out of habit, but they often only fund safe, long-term SIPs with negligible amounts, like 1,000 rupees, a sum they know is too small to change their lives. Because the safe path feels too slow to matter, many pivot toward high-stakes gambles. They use personal loan apps to fund volatile bets on crypto or options trading, desperately searching for a shortcut to the wealth they see on their screens. This desperation forces a move away from stability toward high-risk, high-reward outcomes, simply because the middle ground has disappeared. When the mathematical road to a stable middle-class life is barricaded, taking extreme, irrational risks becomes a logical attempt at escape velocity. If you feel like you're losing this race, remember that the rules of the game changed while the expectations stayed the same. Failing to hit your parents' milestones by 25 is a systemic reality, not a personal flaw. 1,000 rupee monthly investment serves as a habit algorithm. While that specific amount won't buy a house, it installs the psychological discipline needed to manage and grow much larger sums when your income eventually scales. To prevent the spiral into total nihilism, you must also prioritize the joy of the present. Depriving yourself of every experience to save for an impossible goal only guarantees burnout. A sustainable defense is the 30% rule, specifically allocating nearly a third of your income for guilt-free spending. This fixed portion ensures you can enjoy the money you work for today without the pressure of it needing to solve your entire future. The most dangerous move you can make in your 20s is taking on an early anchor. A 25-year home loan at 24% traps you geographically and turns your job into a prison, purely to service a debt that limits your freedom to pivot. Overcoming financial nihilism means actively rejecting the timeline of the previous generation. Real success is found in refusing to play a rigged game and building a financial life that prioritizes your own mobility and peace of mind.